What is up guys, welcome back to another Arena of Valor video, and today we are going to be taking a look at the brand new patch that is coming finally to the TiMi servers of AOV. We're finally going to be getting the new patch, and at this point, if you haven't checked out my old patch rundown video, which was already like a month ago, it was that biggest update ever video that I made. It's like 40 minutes of in-depth discussing all these changes. I will be linking it in a little info thing in that video right now. It should pop up at the right top corner right now, so check out that before you check out this, because this is just a follow-up of that. This is just additional patch notes that they added to that patch, because there were on other servers already a new patch was added after that big one, but we still didn't get the big one, so we are basically getting two patches in one. So yeah, this is what we are going to be discussing today. This isn't going to be too many changes, so this shouldn't take too long, honestly. So as I said, if you haven't checked out the old one yet, make sure to do that. Or if you want to refresh your memory, it should be in the top right corner in that little info box thingy. Now, let's get right to business here. We have, of course, the battlefield adjustments. We have some rune balancing, which is, of course, the enchantment, is what they're called on TiMi servers. We have that little hand that you saw in my Thorn video, the little hand enchantment that replaces your restore with a new active, which basically makes you heal instantly. Now, this was very strong. A lot of players are using it on every single hero. It even beats the Arctic Orb enchantment, believe it or not. So they decided to tone that down a little bit here. It is going to be going from, of course, we haven't tried it yet, but we will instantly get the nerfed one. I still think it will be good, but just not as good as it was right there. It is going from 640 plus 40 per level HP to 640 plus 20 per level HP, so a pretty big nerf for mid and late game. And we have the mana restoration is not going to scale with level at all anymore. It is always going to stay 210 mana. Now, I honestly like this. I don't like too much sustain in this game, because sustain always, the more sustain you give, the easier the game becomes, because if you get poked out, you can just use that to heal back up. You can use the health camp to heal back up as well in the mid lane, in the side lanes, behind the towers. So I really agree with this change. Of course, we will have to try it in-game to see how it actually is. And now, this is again something I like. Now again, this is something that gives you sustain, but I like it because it buffs L'Oreal. It buffs a lot of these mages, Ignis, although Ignis doesn't really need a buff. Still really nice that these mages, the mages in Arena of Valor are in a really rough spot where some of them have infinite mana and don't have to worry about mana at all, and some of them, like L'Oreal, like Ignis, really run out of mana super fast, okay? So I'm actually liking that for these heroes. This is also pretty good for a Violet most of the time as well. I know a lot of Violets actually take this enchantment. And yeah, it is, of course, the mana refill, the little bottle. It used to be recover 8% of lost mana to recover 8% of maximum mana. So of course, when you're at 0 mana, this is the same value, but the more mana you have, the less you would recover before this patch. And yeah, definitely gonna give us some more sustain in terms of mana for the heroes who really need it, like the Ignis, like L'Oreal, especially L'Oreal though. Now, Natalya is actually getting a huge buff right here, guys, okay? Check this out. Skill 1, the couple orbs that she shoots, right? I'm explaining this because a lot of people, let's be real, guys, no one plays Natalya, okay? Although she received that extra juicy waifu skin, okay? Still not too popular of a hero, just not strong enough. I feel like she is she's very strong, but even I don't play her because she's too boring for me. I feel like she's too boring for a lot of players. But this change will make her cooler to play, while also raising her effectiveness a lot. Because what it will do is, the projectiles, you know, the S1, it goes through minions, but it doesn't go through heroes. Now it will go through heroes as well, and that will be absolutely busted, guys. Like, how many times, okay, I'm addressing this question to the 2 Natalya mates that are watching my videos. How many times have you tried to kill a marksman, but he's just constantly hiding behind the tank? Well, this won't be an issue anymore. You will completely blow out team fights in AoV. It will do so much damage and it will be absolutely beautiful. Definitely video incoming on Natalya after this buff. Now, Wonder Woman actually getting a buff as well. It seems like there's a lot of changes right here, but I'm gonna be honest, it is a little bit underwhelming. First of all, the passive is just getting a visual indicator for when it's ready, as opposed to just the shield glowing a little bit. You will get a buff indicator, which doesn't really matter too much. Amazon shield improves response, so that probably means the first skill is a little bit less clunky now, is a little bit more smooth to use, which is really cool, which is really good. Honestly, I think Wonder Woman is already pretty decent. I feel like they're just buffing her a little bit, some quality of life changes to bring her back into the spotlight and make people try her out again. Now, we have Lasso of Truth is again also getting a little bit of a quality of life buff. They are buffing the cooldown on it, okay, reducing it. However, they're removing the mechanic that reduces the cooldown when you hit your second ability. Now, that is probably going to be around the same at the end. So it really doesn't matter too much, but if you miss that lasso before the patch, it really hurts, okay? It's really, really bad. But now if you miss it, it's a little bit less it's a little bit more forgiving now, okay? Which is pretty good. Now, this is a pretty good buff though. Bracelets of Submission, her ultimate is getting buffed. The AoV of the shield creation, so behind her, is getting increased by a very large amount, okay? From 5x5 meters to 6x6. That is a pretty large area increase, guys, okay? And what that is going to do, you probably don't know, but like 2 years ago, Wonder Woman jungle was very, very meta in esports, especially in Arena of Valor esports, because what you would do is you would have a Telenas in the Abyssal Dragon lane, or any marksman, but Telenas was back then the most like hard carry marksman. We didn't have Kefan yet, we didn't have Laviel, and you would just simp. That's Telenas, okay? You would just go jungle, you would give her red buff, and you would just protect her during team fights because you have very good peel. You can pull the enemy away from her, you can CC them, and you can stun them and also shield her. And now this is gonna make it easier. And with all these new marksmen in the meta, I feel like we might see her make a comeback, although this is definitely not enough to make her an S tier jungler or something like that. It's definitely also not enough to make her an S tier Slayer laner, but we might see some more of her popping up in your ranked games. Now, Rui is getting another buff, and this is a little bit weird because Rui, I feel like she's already really strong. However, her damage is really underwhelming. Okay, she could deal 0 damage and she would have the same strength as she has now. Let's be real, she literally deals 0 damage. It's crazy. So they are once again buffing that. And if you check the previous video, the previous patch rundown, they already buffed that first ability exactly the same, and now they're buffing it again. Even more base damage, even more AP ratios. And yeah, I'm gonna try AP Rui in the mid lane. Seems like it could be fun with Berifs and stuff. Definitely gonna try that out. But yeah, she is definitely getting a pretty big buff here. I feel like she's already, as I said, pretty strong because she can interact with heroes like Pain and Alando really well, send them back to base, they can jump back, and it is just incredibly strong with certain heroes. So we'll see how this turns out. And also her skill 2 is getting buffed as well. Her portal after you teleport back to base is getting more, you will get more move speed after the buff, which is also something really, really strong that buffs her early game, which I think is where she struggles at because she can't really scout the bushes against these tanky supports, stuff like that. So yeah, definitely pretty good. I feel like she's strong if she's well played, but she's very difficult to play. Whenever I see a good Rui, I'm very satisfied to have a Rui, but I don't see her often, so maybe that's a good thing that they're buffing her. Now Enzo is getting a nerf here. I'm actually a little bit surprised. Maybe I'm just absolutely garbage, but I feel like Enzo has a lot of counters in this meta. I don't see him too often, but whenever I see him, it's a one-trick Enzo that has like a billion games, and he just completely goes 10-0. So maybe he does deserve a nerf. First skill, pull distance, is getting lowered by a full meter from 3.5 to 2.5 meters, which is a pretty large nerf. We have skill 2, judgment. Stun on hit enemies is getting reduced as well. So if you shoot your little hook, it stuns the enemy just briefly, half a second, and it's only gonna be a quarter second. So again, pretty big nerf. And then they are reversing the nerf that they put in the previous patch, right? That we didn't get yet. They're reversing that from 370 to 380 move speed again. That's exactly what they went from 380 to 370 move speed. So again, just a pretty big nerf, but it's not nerfing his damage, it's not nerfing his mobility really. So I definitely think he's still gonna be very well positioned in the meta, just as much as he is right now. Just already now, I don't see him too often. Maybe people can't play him, maybe he's just not good enough. I'm not sure, but we'll see how this turns out. Now moving on to Keera, she is finally getting a pretty juicy nerf. They're nerfing the AP ratios, I believe, from, yeah, you can see the respective percentages from 40% to 30% when you hit the enemy. And if you don't mark the enemy, the clone that dashes to you after you press the first ability again, that is getting nerfed from 60% to 45%. So all around, really big nerfs. That is also, these are very large percentage nerfs that are even gonna, you will even feel them in the first jungle clear, which is already kind of slow coming out from Keera. Of course, pre-level 4, she's not really the strongest hero, so we'll see how this turns out. I feel like she will still be insanely strong because she is currently super broken, but we'll see how this turns out in gameplay. Feel like you will still ban her, okay? Because Align is getting added with this patch as well, and I don't think you ban him. So it's still gonna be the same 4 bans, it seems like. Now, Dirak is finally getting a nice nerf. However, I don't think it's hitting the right areas. It's hitting his first ability damage, which is definitely ridiculous if he can combo it onto you, but I feel like he should have ridiculous damage if he can combo it onto you, right? That is fine. I don't think his damage is the issue, and I don't think these nerfs are really gonna fix him, because he's still gonna deal a ton of damage with this, even after this nerf. As you can see, the numbers aren't really too big right now that are getting nerfed, so it's not really too big of a nerf. I think his issue is his ultimate. You can just enable way too many macro plays with his shield. You can just set it up in front of towers and easily get a tower. If the enemies are pushing, you can just easily defend towers with it. I feel like that has to be hit. I would honestly double the cooldown on that ability and he would still be a very strong mage, but we'll see if they end up doing that. Now, moving on, the verdict is that Dirak is still gonna be very, very strong. Now, moving on to the last change here. Hayate is getting buffed, and that's a very nice buff. Attack speed growth, which is the attack speed you get per level, going from 3.3 to 3.5%. Now what that is going to do is, of course, it's going to enable his power spike a little bit earlier, I believe, with his, the attack speed increases the amount of shuriken he throws during his ult and his first ability. So that might just make him feel much better, because currently he is really, he's decent, but I feel like he's not strong enough for how difficult he is to play. I would honestly put him on the same difficulty as people put Alandor for sure. He is very deceptively difficult, okay? People think he's not that difficult, but he is incredibly difficult to master. And I feel like it's not worth it right now. It's also very evident you don't see a lot of Hayates in ranked games. You only see Alandor, Kefani, and Laville, and these are all, Alandor isn't, but Laville and Kefani are very, very easy to play and provide much more to your team than a Hayate in your ranked games. So this is a good little step in the right direction. I don't think it will be enough to push him over the edge of Kefani and Laville, okay? Now that is going to be it. They're adding another manga chapter, which is of course amazing for the weebs. Let me know if you guys want me to read the Arena of Valor manga in a video. I didn't check it out yet. I actually wanted to do that, so I might do it anyway, even if you don't say it, but you can say it, so this video gets a little bit boosted in the YouTube algorithm. You already know, boys. Anyway, I really hope you guys enjoyed this. As I said, check out that first video. It is in that info box in the video top right. And yeah, if you did enjoy, leave a like, subscribe so you don't miss the next patch rundown video. I cover all of the Arena of Valor patches, always, usually on time. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys the next time. Peace out, boys. Bye-bye.